saha vīryam karavāvahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishāvahai. Om Shanti. We read. Swadehe shobhanam santam purushakyam cha sammatam kim murka shunyamatmanam dehātītam karoshibo. In the teaching itself, Vedanta, there are sentences which tell you in clear terms that you need to know yourself. Atma va are drashtavyaha. Atmavit shokam tarati. Atma is to be known clearly. The one who knows oneself, Atmavit, shokam tarati, crosses sorrow. Atma anveshtavyaha. Atma is to be inquired into, should not be taken for granted. Understood Atma frees you. You understand Atma as free. I am free. Atma free means I am free. Atma Purushaha. Purnaha. Purusha means the one who indwells this body, who seems to own this body. That person is construed to be confined to this body, limited by this body. And sometimes the body limitations are the person's limitations. So this Atma, there is no other Atma. This person who says, I am tall, short, I am fat, black, I am white, I was blonde. So this guy, this person is Purnaha, Purushaha. Purusha means Purna, is complete. Sarvam Purayati. the one who pervades everything. That is Purusha. Ayam Atma Brahma. If you have any doubt anywhere, this self-evident being which I talked about is Brahman. And Brahman is Jagat Kāraṇaṃ. The Brahman is in the form of Jagat. Cause of this Jagat. Jagat means all that is there and your own body, mind, sense complex. This Jagat is from Brahman, and the Brahman is now in the form of Jagat. And that Brahman, Jagadatmakam, this Brahma, is yourself. I am Atma, this self. Confusion is complete. But they are not strange statements here and there made, like in all the holy books, sacred books, you always find some sentences like this. These sentences are all very few and far between, here one and there one, like this they are there. But then, these sentences do not form a part of or the essence of the teaching. It's not a conclusion, a niścaya. It's not a teaching. So it's not preceded by arguments to say, therefore you are this. There is no such thing. So if it is said, I am Atma Brahma, this self-evident self is Brahman. That is a part of the teaching. Either it is in the beginning or the beginning is something connected to this statement. We are going to look into these two beginnings. There are many types of beginning, but these are two beginnings, very relevant for us to know. One beginning is Yadidam Sarvam Omkaraha Eva Yad Bhutam Yacha Bhavyam Sarvam Omkaraha Eva. Yat trikālātītam tadapi omkaraha eva. All that was there before, all that is here now, all that will come to unfold in the future, all of them are Om, Omkaraha. All of them are Om, one word, Om. Om is the name, a word, for the Vastu. Om is the word for something. that is the reality, if I can use that word. Then what is that vastu? Om is a nomenclature. What is the vastu? Again another word we have to say. What is the vastu? Well, all that is here, yad bhutam yacha bhavyam sarvam brahma. That is the vastu. Om is another additional name. This is also the word. One is like you say he is a human being, and then afterwards you give him a name, identify. Similarly, Om. The vastu is called Brahma. If you understand Brahman, you understand the vastu. If you understand Om, you understand Brahman, you understand vastu. So vastu means what is real. Vastavam. Vastavam comes from vastu. The vastu also comes from that only. In India we have a vastu shastra. Some people know this vastu. Never invite him to your house. If anybody, the vastu fellows, if you invite him to your house, he won't come to your house. The beginning itself you will see. He will say, you have to remove the door and put it on the left side. That window has to go. This room should never be there. It should be here. You have to completely demolish. This is little low. You have to make it rise it. Never invite a vastu fellow to your house. Take him to a restaurant. There also he will tell the restaurant is not. He is very obsessive. The whole world exists without vastu. Why do you bother? But it is a shastra. Really, it is a shastra. Once you know, you can't sleep. So, if you don't know, it has to adjust itself properly. Let it adjust. Vastu comes from vastu. I am Atma Brahma. This self-evident, first he said, all that is here, bhutam, bhavishyat, sarvam, yat trikālātītam, sarvam Brahma. Everything is Brahman first. The following statement is, I am Atma Brahma. This self-evident being is Brahman. Think of this. Brahman is everything. That everything that is Brahman is the self means you are everything. You are the whole. Then the whole teaching is about the Atma being Brahman. I am Atma Chatushpad. Like this, the whole Jagat and the experience of Jagat, all of them are presented as Brahman. Waking, dream, deep sleep, everything is Brahman. What all you experience, the experiencer, everything is Brahman. Then it tells, this Ayamatma Brahma, while everything is Brahman, Brahman is free from everything. It's a two statements. Everything is Brahman is one statement. That Brahman transcends everything to be yourself. That's the teaching. There is a beginning, there is an end, there is a middle. Therefore, this statement is in the beginning itself. Ayam Atma Brahma. Another place, Chandogya, this is Mandukya, it is Atharva Veda. We will see one Sama Veda, another Veda. There, if you know one thing, everything is as well known. Father asks his son, Shvetaketu, was returned from his Gurukulam. 12 years he stayed there. He went there when he was 12. An entire teenage was there in the Gurukulam. The teacher had to deal with that. Returns when he was 24. Very proud. He was brilliant. Son of Uddhalaka. A great, highly venerable person. Scholar, Pandita. So, this guy is so very, very proud. Son, father asks him, did you ask for that knowledge, gaining which everything is as well known? This is the beginning. This is how the text begins. Look at that. By knowing which everything is known, as well known. Yasya vijñānena sarvam vijñātam syāt. Did you ask for that knowledge? Did you ask your teacher for that knowledge? Because when you study the Veda, you do come across this kind of knowledge being there. If you have language to some extent, you will know there is such knowledge. You should necessarily ask your teacher to teach you. You got all the words, but you didn't ask for the knowledge. Therefore, did you ask? He asked him. This fellow said, I don't think my teacher knew. The pride comes out. Then the father must have looked at him and his son changed. In the look he read the mistake. The look was, what did I ask, what do you answer? The fellow realized his mistake. That's where I used the word realized. There is no other realization, interest for the capital invested, and you realize mistake. Realize the mistake. He asked his father, is there such knowledge? Father said, yes. Give me a sample. Knowing one thing, everything is known. Is a master key or what? What is that? Knowing one thing, everything is known. He knows, knowing one thing, anything that was known before is forgotten. So that is all what he knows. And therefore, especially if it is Panini, every sutra you learn, then that sutra alone is very clear. All other sutras just disappear from your screen, mental screen. They don't appear even if you want them. One good thing is screen is clean. And therefore, how is there such knowledge? He asked him. Then he said, this famous example of pot clay, chain gold, and an instrument, an iron, made of instrument, nakanakrandanam, a nail remover, nail cutter, nail cutter you can say, nakanakrandanam. All made up of steel, made up of gold, all the ornaments, various earthenwares made up of clay. If you know one pot you take, analyze this pot. Understand what this word pot does mean. What does it mean? And the same object is covered by clay also. Two words cover the same object. But then the object that is covered by clay is there even when you say pot. The object that is covered by the word pot is also covered at the same time by clay. What should I construe? Should I reckon the pot as one to be counted? If you reckon, you have whatever number of parts you have, thousands, 1, 2, 3, 4, you can count. Nana, Vidani, Rupani, different forms are there, different objects are there, and therefore you can count all of them. You can tell the number. But if you count clay, let us start with clay. Clay. What else is there? In the pots, all the pots are there. Count them. Clay covers all of them. All the number. It's more important here. All the number. The nanatvam is swallowed by the word clay. This he gives an example. So too, an example has its own limitations. It's not complete. There is a counter of this. So too, knowing which everything is known is one thing. That is the reality of this entire Jagat. That is Brahman. Did you ask for the knowledge of that Brahman? There is a meaning that this is how it begins, then again another beginning. Sadeva saumedamagrasid ekamevad. This entire Jagat, this entire all that is here known and unknown to you, was one Sat, means that which is, and one and non-dual. Non-dually one. One that is not subject to addition or subtraction. This Jagat asit, this Jagat was there. Like bijasya antaḥ. Later he explains to Shvetaketu. Like even a whole tree is undifferentiated in a seed, remains in a seed, undifferentiated. Similarly, entire Jagat was there in the form of knowledge. You know it is in the form of knowledge. Undifferentiated. Now you can recognize. So that vastu, non-dual vastu called Satyam, that Sadeva Satyam, that alone is to be reckoned, is the reality. Nothing is independent of it. Nothing besides it. Nothing like it. It is non-dually one. And Tattvam Asi. That you are. More told, really speaking. That Vastu alone became all this aikshata, asrijata, abhavat. It's all knowledge. It did the sankalpa, it was all there, like you do in dream. It became everything. If it became everything, then it was originally I was very big, then underwent like this, then I became many. This is one thesis. There was one limitless Brahman. It became the Jagat, became many. Therefore, every individual has got one spark of Brahman. Then you have to recognize, I am a spark. Amsha. Even before learning, you are already that, that you are a small, insignificant part of everything. You can say that. Part of the whole. And then after enlightenment, what? I am insignificant, more speck. Because you know more about the vastness of the universe, therefore you became more specky. And then that's a realization. It doesn't make any difference. You can't get angry when somebody calls you a speck. So you can't get angry. You have to accept the reality. Then you can also point out, I am a speck, you are a speck. In speck there is no aage piche nahi hai. So in speck there is no bigger and smaller speck and bigger speck. All are speck, infinitesimal speck. You are a speck. Smaller than a pixel. Huh? So you have to, that's a modern thing. So, no. It didn't undergo any change whatsoever. Because the thesis is mrittika eva satyam. Originally bana rakha hai. The nāma-rūpa, the created objects, are not different from Brahman, but Brahman is Brahman. And what is that Brahman, if you ask me? Whatever you are, that is what Brahman is. Tat tvam asi. The self-evident being is limitless Purusha. Therefore, the conclusion, I am a mortal, I am a manushya, I am a human being, male, female, subject to aging and death. So I am of this size, etc. Is right, is wrong. Is right because that's what, even you stand on the balance, weighing machine, the weighing machine. And that's what it shows. The needle shows you are so many pounds. Okay? And you stand. And ask somebody to see your height, that's what it shows. Height. So your height is clear, weight is clear. This is what I am. This is true. The loka vyavahara, the people other than you, also look at you like that. You please come, please sit down. So you are recognized only at this body as the body. If you are moving away, so and so is moving away. The body is moving away. You are moving away. You walk in, IEA. This IEA is for the body or for you? For the body, idam shariram. Aye is only for the person who is the indweller of this body. Aye. Please come. With respect. Therefore, this I am as good as the body has got a certain limitations. And I identify myself, means I see myself as good as this body. I am young, I am old. Therefore, it should be right. There is no guessing here. There is no mistake here. That's why I said it is right. What is right? The body is limited. From the standpoint of the body, I am limited. From the standpoint of your own concept you take, from the standpoint of a small pot, clay is limited. Clay is limited. But your understanding of clay is not a limited pot. In your understanding, pot doesn't really figure of clay. And therefore, this limitation is from the standpoint of the body. Your senses are limited. And therefore, your health and all that, also prana, has its own limitations. And the mind, what to talk about? When all these limitations are there, and they are your limitations, definitely you are not going to have ananda mind. The mind, definitely your emotions also are going to be yo-yo. Now happy, now unhappy. So your knowledge also is limited. Anybody's knowledge is up to one more question. And therefore knowledge is limited. Your memory is limited. Everything is recalling power, recollection power, that is more limited. You always remember the person's name after you left the person. Very close family. So you want to mention the name of his wife. How is she? You can't ask him, how is your wife? You have to mention the name. And name doesn't come. Then you create a conversation, you guide the conversation. And so that this guy will blurt out his wife's name. But on this day, he doesn't mention her name at all. You say, who is taking care of your son? Who else? She is taking care of it. He doesn't say that. What a problem. These are all my problem, okay? And then you somehow, okay, it's all over. And the fellow left, and then you remember the name. The power of recollection is limited. That's why I always pat myself whenever I remember the name. Because how many names you can remember? And so, memory is limited because memory is always what you had gone through. What you have not gone through is going to be your memory. That also how much you remember and all that is there. How much you can recall from the data bank. That's another operation. All limited, all the way limited. That's true. If all these are integral part of the self, if the self is made up of these things, definitely it is limited. If we are dealing here with something that is free from all this, while all these not are free from it, we need to know that. Therefore, the teaching begins like this, here, now. Swadehe shobhanam santam purushakyam cha sammatam. In one's own body, swadehe, swasya dehe, in one's own body, which is objectified by you. Is this self objectifying this body? It's called kshetrajna. Kshetram janaditi kshetrajna. The one who knows the kshetra. So one's own body is objectified. Is available for objectification. So there is a being, a conscious being. Why, he says, when this is the Atma, Atmanam shobhanam santam, sushobhanam santam. What is self-evident? Blemishless, revealing all the blemishes. This is the Atma. And the Sarva Shruti Sammatam. Accepted and established, revealed by all the Shrutis. A self-evident being which is satyam, santam atmanam, which is existent. It lends its existence to all. We have to analyze that. It lends its existence to everything. Everything draws its existence from what? That is. Santam atmanam. Why do you want to make it as shunyam? Why do you want to make it as void? Why do you want to make it zero? How will you say I am zero? Zero I am, you cannot say. First you put zero, then zero doesn't have a being. I am zero also is not a very healthy thing. I am Purushaha. Purusha means Purna. I am the whole. It's entirely different thing. So why don't you say Purna? If you say, no, when we say Shunya, we mean free from all attributes. Free from all attributes? What about all the attributes? Are they different from you? If they are not you, then they are lying somewhere. Like banana peel. You eat the banana. This fellow says, banana is false. Why? Because that is thrown away. There is no reality. Then what is reality? What is inside the banana has got reality. Why? Because that is what we eat. What we reject has no reality. I always tell this. Suppose this fellow has eaten the banana and thrown away the banana peel, as in India we do, and just throw away. Just like that, throw away. Then you forget about it, where you had thrown away. And then you wear these new shoes that you bought. And then you come out, tuck, 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 tuck. And then you put on this banana peel. You go sprawling. Do you know what happens? The banana that you ate comes out. Now, my question is, which is more real? Whether the banana peel is more real or banana is real. The peel is more real because it brought the banana out. What are you going to do with all these attributes? We don't believe in this. This one thing is, I am free from all this. That is fine. But none of them is free from me is very important. That is why Purushaha, Purushaha. If you repeat the word Purusha twice, Purushaf, Purushaha. Purushaf, Purushaha. The Purusha, the indwelling, Pura Ushati, Vasati. The one who indwells this body is called Purusha. That Purusha is Purushaha, Purna. Is the whole. It's a Mahavakya. Purushaf, Purushaha. First one is indweller. The second one is Purna. The word lends itself to these two meanings. Even if you say Atma, the experiencer is Atma, Atiti Atma. Sarvan Vishayan Atti. The one who experiences all objects is called Atma. Not only that, Sarvan Vishayan Atti, and Sarvan Vishayan Apnoti, Vyāpnoti. The one who pervades everything is Atma. If you say Atma, Atma, again Mahavakya. This experiencer, in a sense, in reality, is the one that pervades everything. Pervade the experiencer also. Experience also. Experience the object also. And therefore it is the whole. So Purusham Santam, that which is self-evident, blemishless, Shobhanam, Anandam, Purna, it is Purna. Tam Atmanam, sir, why you make out of it Shunya? What do you achieve that? He says, Shunyam Atmanam Dehatitam Karoshibo. You are one way, you are right. You recognize Atma as one free from this body, mind, sense complex. That's a wonderful thing. After having done that job, why you make it Shunya? Dehatitam Atmanam Shunyam Karoshi. What is this murkatva? What is this foolishness? Eh? What shall we say? There are two types of mistake. One is avichara siddha. A mistake without inquiry, very innocent mistake. Avichara siddha. Without inquiry, without really attempt to know. That is what everybody takes the Atma to be. It's a mistake. But it's not born of inquiry. There is another type of mistake is by lot of inquiry, wrong inquiry. Means after thinking a lot, vichar karke, then you commit a mistake. Therefore, big mistake. Sarva sammatam, shruti sammatam, apta sammatam. What is upheld by the shruti, upheld by all people, those who are supposed to know this. Why you want to make it as Shunya? Like that, in the village, these urbanites come to village during summer. These boys come, school going, high school going boys, they all come. We always tell them when they come, hey, be careful, mind your head, see, because all the doors are very, very low. I don't know why they keep it like this. I think they say to make you humble. So whatever, it's very, very low. So you have to bend and go. So we always tell them, don't go like this. Just bend and go, just mind your head. Oh, sure. Urbanite. And he is very cautious fellow. And before the door comes, 10 feet before, he bends. And he bends and then walks bending. Bending he walks, bent he walks. And then gets up. Where the threshold, the door is, so you have this fellow has got a bump. It's like a police car. He has got a red bump. What is this one? This is vichara siddha. The one is avichara siddha. Innocent mistake. This is durvichara siddha. That is why he calls him murkha. Atmanam dehatitam manyase. Tatapi this fellow says shunya atma. So what will you say? Zero aham. The zero says I am zero, or you say I am zero. If you say I am zero, you are accepting I am. Then conclusion is I am zero. That's okay. That is acceptable to us. That is zero aham. So something you are talking about you, but you are accepting that you are not zero. If you say I am free from attributes, that's what I say. But all the attributes also are you. They are incidental. They are also you. You have to know that. It's entirely different vision. Why you are insisting on this? He asked this question. Kim murkha? Murkha means, say, a person, why the adamantine person? Kim murkha shunyam atmanam dehatitam karoshi boho. Dehatitam api atmanam shunyam katam karoshi. How? He says, so kim karoshi? Why do you make Atma, my dear sir, like a murkha? Why do you do that? It's not helpful to you or to anybody. For this you don't require already. Before you inquired, you were somebody. Now after inquiry you became zero. So ye kya hai? So that's how it starts now. We have a very beautiful text following. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaye Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om